Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here on what is an overcast and dangerous-looking sky on a Monday night here, live from Narberth Playground for Game 3, the pivotal Game 3 of the 2020 Delco League Championship Series. I'm Joe Greenwich. Alongside me, my occasional broadcast partner, occasional photographer friend, John Sager. John, thanks for being here tonight. I know it was a long and strenuous commute for you to get here.
Yes, it was a 7-minute walk, but as you mentioned, potentially dangerous on my way home. Slightly more dangerous because we're sitting here with electronic equipment and there's the looming threat of rain.
Shortly after the start of the game, we are expecting some form of light rain to come through. Maybe the kind of rain they can play through. I don't know if it's the kind of rain we can broadcast through. We will find out. I've got the old dry cleaner bag set up here for which should handle spritzes, but any sort of steady rain, we may need to step aside, and in which case we may be able to hop back on the air. I don't know if we will or not. So if we are to go off the air, just keep checking every 15, 20 minutes or so, and we'll try to bring some of the action to you the best that we can. We are getting ready to get started here. On the mound for Narberth is James Kelly. Kelly making his first appearance of the series. Narberth has used just 4 pitchers, 2 per game. And Nate Sides set to lead it off for Wayne. Series tied at a game apiece. The winner tonight will have a chance to claim the Charlie Crest Trophy tomorrow night. First pitch to Nate Sides is in for a strike, and we're underway.
And you might have thought that Narberth, being very economical with their pitching staff, would give them an advantage going into Game 3, and that's how it originally would have set up.
Sides takes another called strike.
However, given the delay in the games, that gives Wayne a chance to reset, to be able to maybe carry on through some of these swing games in the series.
Sides checks his swing, breaking ball in the dirt, did not go around. And you alluded to the pitching staffs like that. Series originally scheduled to begin Thursday with Game 2 Saturday and Game 3 Sunday. Instead, due to rain, we started Friday, and then we're scheduled to play 3 straight days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Coaches, managers put their pitching staffs together. And then yesterday morning, field in no shape to be able to play. Rain all day. Sides takes low and away. So the game postponed to tonight, which was supposed to be an off day. And now we're set to play Game 3 and Game 4 tonight and tomorrow. And then, if necessary, Game 5 would be on Wednesday at Devon Prep. So the weather certainly making its presence felt here in the championship series. And Nate Sides goes down swinging. James Kelly has first out of the game. So I'll bring up Alden Mathis. The rest of the lineup sound very familiar if you've been here for the first couple games. Mathis will bat second. He's playing right field today. Ed Paparella, the DH, bats third. Will Pfeiffer's in center field. He'll bat fourth. Luke Mutz, the third baseman, bats fifth. Dan Williams plays second base. He bats sixth. Matt Briner in left will bat seventh. Tommy Jacobs at first base will bat eighth. And Brady Mutz, catching his third consecutive game, will bat ninth against Kelly, who's now ahead 0-1 to Alden Mathis. The pitch swung on and fouled straight back. 0-2. Kelly on the mound, we mentioned, making his first appearance for the Mudcats in this series. He has thrown earlier in the playoffs. And he'll try to give manager Steve DeBarberi and Brian Megger as many good innings as he can tonight. The wine, the 0-2, taken high. A little different vantage point for us here at Narberth, John. And Devon Prep, we are elevated a little bit, and we're behind home plate. Here, we're elevated a little more. And then down the third base line, Mathis swings, hits one foul. Out of play. So we've got a very good view of high and low here. In and out maybe a little more at Devon, but here, high and low pitches, we are looking straight at home plate. At least for a left-handed batter, it's much easier to see. A 1-2, in at the knees for a called third strike. Gets Mathis looking, so 2 strikeouts for James Kelly.
Really, the only spot that we're blocked from is third base, which actually came into play a little bit earlier this year, where there was a possibly great play to end the game, but we were a little blocked. But otherwise, great view of the field, and it looks like the way Narberth is with an open outfield with no fence in center or right, that some fans have taken advantage of the unique seating.
Ed Paparella swings at the first pitch, fouls it out of play over Haverford Avenue. I keep forgetting which street is which. I have to keep looking at the street sign. So 0-1 the count to Paparella. Paparella hitting 167. He's 1 for 6 in the series as he takes low. Wayne as a team just hitting 216. Narberth hitting 268. So despite having won that first game in what seemed like relatively easy fashion, that was on the back of Matt Isles' pitching performance. Wayne not really doing as much with the bats as you've come to expect. Paparella takes outside. It's 2-1. But that's kind of the thing with Wayne. They can not be doing what you'd expect them to do, and then a half inning later, there's a crooked number on the board, and you're wondering what happened. Kelly Wines pitched to Paparella, swung on and missed, 2-2.
And if you look at the numbers, there's a, not just in terms of average, but in terms of the type of numbers. Narberth has so far hit much better than Wayne in terms of slugging, largely on the back of 2 home runs from Tyler Kehoe. Narberth is slugging .446 entering the game, to Wayne just slugging .255.
Paparella taps one foul. Like a gentleman goes and fetches it himself. Will Pfeiffer waits on deck should Paparella get aboard. And Narberth with 3 home runs in the series. 1 in the loss on Friday, and then 2 in the win on Saturday. Kelly steps off. He'll recollect himself. He's ready. The 2-2. Pop. Foul. That one's going to get out of play as well.
Any foul ball here is a little hazardous. I'm not always necessarily looking for the players, but whoever's walking by on the sidewalk or even stopped at the intersection here is a very risky chance for a foul ball.
Paparella checks his swing, pitch in the dirt. The count will go full. To the 3-hole hitter for Wayne. Just underway here at Narberth Playground, no score between Wayne and Narberth. Game 3 of this best-of-5 Delco League Championship Series. 3-2 pitch, hit sharply on the ground just past Jim White, and that's going to go into left field. Paparella takes a big turnaround first. He's going to keep going, and he's going to dive into second base, a 2-out double for Ed Paparella. So that'll bring up Will Pfeiffer with an RBI opportunity. So despite the series being tied, it seems like the momentum kind of lies with Narberth right now. Coming home for the next 2 games. They like playing here. They do well here. You know, they had the big offensive performance on Saturday. So Wayne could really use an early strike. And Will Pfeiffer will be charged with getting that off the ground. He takes upstairs for ball 1.
And we discussed that over the weekend, that even though Wayne was very much in control of game 1, that Narberth being able to come back and then come home for 2 games is huge. And sometimes the middle games in the series play more than the having the 2 middle games plays more into an advantage than having the 3 games that bridge the series.
Pfeiffer tries to hold up. He can't. So 1-1 the count. Luke Mutz is on deck should Pfeiffer extend the inning. 2 down. James Kelly works from the stretch. He eyes Paparella, not holding him at second. He's got a big lead. The 1-1. Taken at the belt for a called strike, 1-2. Paparella should easily be able to score on any base hit, especially with 2 outs and no one holding him at second base. And just as soon as I say that, someone goes to cover. The pitch comes in. Pfeiffer hits that one out to left field. Diving is Mike White. He's not able to get there and hold on to it. Paparella trots home. Pfeiffer in with a double. It's 1-0 Wayne.
It's a great effort, but he just couldn't quite come up with it with 2 outs. Definitely had to, to stretch out and try to make the grab. But Wayne bouncing back from the performance over the weekend, and they're on top here in the first.
So that'll bring up Luke Mutz. His takes first pitch high for a ball. Mutz hitting .333 and a couple of big at-bats, a couple of hits in game 1 for Wayne. Takes a called strike. One on one the count to Mutz. Swung on, ripped out towards right center. That's going to drop in. Rounding third is Pfeiffer. He scores standing up. It's 2-0 Wayne here in the early going. Well, we talked about trying to get off to an early start. Obviously, someone, a Narberth fan in the distance in their car, disagrees. But we talked about getting off to an early start, how important it was. Well, there's 2 on the board, both coming with 2 outs from the middle of your order as Dan Williams steps in. Williams, an interesting first couple of games. He's 2 for 6. He's got 2 runs. He's got a run scored, rather, and an RBI. His other 4 at-bats, all ending in strikeouts. So he takes a called strike. So he's been very productive when he gets on base. Takes high.
And normally, with the threat of rain looming, you'd think getting a few runs early on would be a big advantage, especially in a shortened game. But I believe today's game is intended to be played through all 7 innings.
Yeah, there will be a suspension if necessary. Pitch is high, 2-1.
We also had a suspension in last year's finals. We had the front end of, or the back end of a game completed early on in a doubleheader, and then we had a no-hitter to finish it off.
As someone who's caught out in the rain during that, I'm glad you brought it back up. Williams pops it up. It's in foul ground. Jim White is over. Reaches up and he squeezes it, and that'll do it for the first inning. But Wayne gets 2. They do it on 3 hits, all coming with 2 outs. And they leave 1 aboard. We're through a half inning. It's Wayne 2, Narberth coming to bat. This is Game 3 of the Delco League Championship Series live on DelcoLeague.com. Bottom half of the first inning here from Narberth Playground. Wayne on top, 2-0. Leading off for Narberth is the shortstop, Vinny Vacone. Takes the first pitch for a ball from Ashton Raines. The starter for Wayne, making his first appearance in the finals. Raines got the win in both semifinal victories for Wayne against Marple Newtown. That pitch called a strike to Vacone. So 1-1 the count. It'll be Vacone followed by Kevin McGowan and Jim White, the top of the order for Narberth. Raines winds the 1-1. Tapped on the ground towards short, fielding it as sides. Throw to first, beats Vacone by a step, 1 down. Vacone, the shortstop, followed by McGowan, the DH. Jim White plays third base. He bats third. Joe Ravert, the first baseman, hitting fourth. Ryan Guckin, the right fielder, hitting fifth. Tommy Toll plays second base. He bats sixth. In left field is Mike White, bats seventh. Jim Quinn, the catcher, hits eighth. Matt DeBarberi plays center field. He bats ninth. As we mentioned, they all face Ashton Rains, who has the first out of the inning. To bring up McGowan, who swings first pitch. Fouls it off out of play. McGowan takes for a ball. It's 1-1. And that one's in the dirt. 2-1. The count to McGowan. McGowan hitting .500. He's 3 for 6. He's got an RBI and a walk thus far through the first 2 games. That's a called strike. I missed one somewhere. That's strike 3. So McGowan goes down looking 2 away. So that'll bring up Jim White. First pitch to him, outside.
White hitting .400 already, 2 for 5 with a walk and a hit by pitch.
He's got that on-base percentage up. Of course, small sample size. He takes low. Can't really get too excited about a high average or percentage now, and you can't get too disappointed if you're hitting the old 000.
Well, at some point, 400 is 400. Always looks good.
White swings, hits that one into center field. And that's going to bring his average then up to 500, which is even better than 400. 2-out hit for White.
We are early in the series, so it is a little easier to crunch those numbers early on without having to tabulate anything.
Speak for yourself, John. I've got a very big math brain. So I'll bring up Joe Ravert, who does not have a hit yet in the series. Has drawn a walk. First pitch to him. Swings and rips that one foul. Almost took out his own first base coach.
One thing about baseball is there's just going back when I was growing up reading the Inquirer, going through stats, you learn some very quick division of what certain averages mean, especially in short times, just combing through box scores. I used to love to do that, especially on Sundays.
Ravert fouls one out of play. Right off the hood of my car.
Not the
That's
first.
the second time in the last week and a half. Some local body shop's going to be cashing in on this series. Shot towards second. Easy play for Williams. Makes the throw, and that'll retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. No errors. They leave 1 through the first inning. Wayne leads at 2-0. This is Game 3 of the Delco League Championship Series here on DelcoLeague.com. First pitch strike to Matt Briner here in the top half of the second. Wayne on top, 2-0 in game 3. Kelly gets another one over, 0-2 the count. It'll be Briner followed by Tommy Jacobs and Brady Mutz, 7, 8, 9 in the order for Wayne. Pitch. Gets a piece of it, fouls it off the cage.
Joe, just a word of advice. I'm thinking your next car, you might want to think about getting a white-colored car.
I would really appreciate if we could stop talking about this right now. As Briner takes low. Last time we were here at Narberth, took one during game 1 of the semifinals. After how many years of not getting hit, Briner hits one, humpback line drive. White leaps in the air, makes the catch, one away.
Well, if this keeps up, we could get into a fascinating conversation about your insurance deductible, just to see, how good your policy is.
Anybody who's watching, if you have any home remedies for removing dents, put them in the comments on the stream. We'll we'll take a look at some of the most cost-effective and easy ones. I am decidedly not much of a car guy, John, so it's the kind of thing where how let the professionals handle it. One down for Tommy Jacobs. First pitch swinging, fouls one back out of play. You know, I was going to make a joke between innings about parking my car up in the woods, but there's just as many balls go over there.
Have you considered a tank for your next car? That might.
I wonder if there's any vacancies at the Thomas Wynn Apartments I can move in for the week. As Jacob takes low and away.
Not sure if you get the right angle from that, if you could actually call the game from the nearby apartment complex, staring right in. Might be a little hard to judge balls and strikes, but.
That's what the umpire's there for. Jacobs takes a called strike. He's not happy about it. Kelly's pitch, topped foul. Brady Mutz on deck. Swung on and missed. Quinn not able to hold on to it. He's got to throw down to first. So 2 down now for Brady Mutz. Mutz has caught the first 2 games of the series. He's 0 for 4. He does have a walk. Just 5 plate appearances, batting in that 9th position. Takes a called strike, 0-1. That one is popped foul out of play. You can hear rush hour traffic in the background. Somebody avoided contact as we are at the corner of Haverford and Wynwood.
I'm not sure whose job it is to run after foul balls today, but they're certainly getting a workout here early on.
Mutz takes high for a ball. That pitch just misses outside. Should he get on board top of the order, Nate Sides waits on deck. It's a 2-0 ball game with 2 outs in the second. Kicks and delivers, pitches in the dirt. Kelly set, he winds and fires. Mutz swings, chops it over to second. Fielded cleanly by Toll over to first. That will retire the side of 1-2-3 inning for James Kelly here in the second. No runs, hits, errors. None left. We go to the home half of the second inning. Wayne on top, 2-0. This is Game 3 of the Delco League Finals on DelcoLeague.com. Home half of the second inning. Mudcats trailing Wayne 2-0. First pitch from Ashton Range to Ryan Guckin. In for a called strike. It's Ryan Guckin, Tommy Toll, and Mike White. 5, 6, 7 due up for Narberth here in the second. Rains kicks. Pitch is high.
Guckin hitting .333 in the early going, byproduct of a balanced offense from Narberth the other day, is that a lot of averages are looking pretty good right now.
Guckin hits one square off one of the support poles. That was the flagpole he hit. It's still rattling. The flagpole in foul territory behind home plate, that is. So 1-2 the count.
Should we be wearing helmets at this rate?
I don't know if helmets are going to help. Guckin hits that one a long way, but he hit it out to straightaway center field. Pfeiffer's there, and he'll make the catch. Pulls that one a little. He's got a shot at a long ball.
Well, I know the Flyers are off tonight. Maybe Carter Hart can come sit near us and play a little defense.
We can all throw some money in and extend this netting up to the sky another 20 feet. So I bring up Tommy Toll. Toll 1 for 5 in the series. He's got a walk. He's also got the only 2 stolen bases for Narberth thus far. So he takes ball 1. Pitch in the dirt. Toll ahead in the count 2-0. Late arriving crowd here at Narberth Playground. In part due to the start time and part due to the weather forecast for sure. 2-0 pitch ripped down towards first base. Jacobs Fields gets it to Rains, and he beats Toll to the bag. Some nice defense for Wayne. 2 down. Let's bring up Mike White. Mike White with a home run in the 4th inning on Saturday really began that breakout inning for the Mudcats. They had a lot of chances. Were only able to scratch out 2 runs, but then a 3-run 4th put some distance between the 2 sides and really let Narberth breathe a little easier. Brady Devereaux did the rest. First pitch from Rains, side armor fires high and away. Swings and hits that one right back to Rains. He'll throw to first. It's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Ashton Rains. No runs, hits, errors. None left. We go to the third. It's 2-0 Wayne. This is Game 3 of the Delco League Finals live on DelcoLeague.com. Top of the order here for Wayne in the 3rd inning. Nate Sides takes strike 1. Wayne on top 2-0. Side swings and fouls one off. Side struck out to start the game his first time up. Swings, hits that one out towards left. It's deep. But White's got a read on it. He's under it. He'll make the catch, one away. So Alden Mathis steps in. Mathis 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch swinging, fouls it off the cage. An RBI double by Will Pfeiffer and an RBI single by Luke Mutz in the first inning have us at 2-0 in favor of the defending champs. Top-seeded Wayne. Trying to win one of these 2 road games to seize an opportunity to claim the title. Mathis rips that one down the right field line. It's a fair ball. That one's going to roll all the way back as far as it can go. Mathis around second. It's going to be held up at third. It's a stand-up triple for Alden Mathis. This is a triples-friendly ballpark here at Narberth Playground, as John mentioned in the pregame. There's a fence out in left field. There's a high net, very Green Monster-esque. The ball off the net is in play. Then as you get out towards center, there's the namesake Narberth Playground. And then right field, there's basketball courts, but no real line of demarcation as to where this field ends. You get a ball, gets down and gets rolling, it can go for a long time. Paparella steps in, rips one foul down the left field line. Easier said than done, but James Kelly would do well to get Paparella out here while Mathis stays at third to try to keep this at a 2-run game as long as he possibly can. That one's hit down the third baseline, fielded by White, goes to first with it. In time, but on the play, Mathis scores. It's now 3-0 in favor of Wayne. On the RBI ground out by Ed Paparella. So that brings up Will Pfeiffer, double to left. Brought home a run. First pitch swinging through the right side into right field for a base hit. So the Wayne batters seeing the ball well tonight. It's already 5 hits through 2 2/3 innings. Now we managed to scratch out 4 on Saturday in 7. First pitch to Luke Mutz, taken for a ball. (1-0) hit in the air to left. White is back over to his left. He's under it. He squeezes and that'll retire to the side. A run on 2 hits. No errors. Wayne leaves 1. We're through 2.5. The defending champs staked out to a 3-0 lead. This is Game 3 of the finals, live on DelcoLeague.com. Jim Quinn swings at the first pitch, tries to check his swing. The ball caroms down towards first base. It's fielded by Tommy Jacobs, and he takes it to the bag himself. One pitch, one out here in the third inning for Ashton Rains. So pinch hitter in now, Steve DeBarberi will bat for his brother. He'll stay in the game, play one of the outfield positions. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. Takes outside 2-0. DeBarberi, the player manager for Narberth, making his first appearance in the series. Swings, fouls the 2-0 back. Vinny Vacone waits on deck. Called strike, 2-2 now. Rains kicks, swung on and missed. 2 down now in the third. Had a strong starting pitching performance in each game so far. Ashton Rains shaping up for a good one tonight. He's allowed just one base runner through the first trip through the order as Vinny Vacone steps in. Brady Devereaux, 6 strong innings for Narberth on Saturday. Matt Isle went the distance on Friday for Wayne. First pitch to Vacone. Taken at the belt for a called strike. Vacone 0 for 1. Grounded out to short his first time up. Narberth at the plate, trailing 3-0 here in the third. Takes this one at the knees. Rains quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Vacone checks his swing, pitch in the dirt. He's able to hold up. So 1-2 the count. Kevin McGowan waiting on deck. Pitch, fouled off out of play. From the windup, the 2-2 is upstairs. Pitch on its way, fouled off. So we'll do it again.
But when you have nowhere to be, it's like. No, I don't prefer it. I told Christine I've done my $20. If she texts me and I open the mail.
Rains winds. Vacone takes a called third strike on the outside corner. Third strikeout of the game for Ashton Rains. And that'll retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the fourth. Wayne leads at 3-0. Listening to Game 3 on DelcoLeague.com. Top half of the fourth inning rather. Dan Williams takes ball one. Williams, Briner, and Jacobs due up to face James Kelly on the ground through the left side for a base hit. And Wayne has its leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight. So Briner steps in. He lined out to third his first time up. Kelly eyes the runner at first. Comes set. He comes home with it. Called strike as Williams has a decent-sized secondary lead out there. And the throw over to first. Williams back in plenty of time. Pitch is taken for a ball. Briner swings, fouls it out of play. Briner in left field. He actually finished the game on the mound for Wayne on Saturday, batting from the left side against the right-hander Kelly. Swings and fouls that one back out of play. Another foul ball. Briner staying alive. Kelly eyeing Williams over at first. Home. Fouls it back out of play. Kelly's pitch taken high. Count level at 2-2. Now the throw over. Williams back safely. Briner swings. He fouls off another one. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Briner. Nobody out here in the fourth. Dan Williams at first. Wayne holding on to a 3-0 lead, looking for more. 2-2 pitch. Briner fouls off another one. Single-handedly putting a big dent into the baseball supply here. Stays alive again. Fouled a number of them straight back. Spoiling those outside pitches. We'll do it again, the 2-2. This one is hit back towards second. Over to Vacone for one. Back to first in time. Big double play for Narberth. So Matt Briner fouled off a whole slew of pitches. Ultimately hits into a 4-6-3 double play. 2 down. Tommy Jacobs struck out. Went down 2-3 in the scorebook as he wears number 2-3. Swings and fouls one back. Out of play. 0-1. Brady Mutz, catcher on deck. On the ground to short. Vacone gloves it. Goes first. Ravert needs to make a bit of a stretch, but ultimately he'll hang on and that'll retire the side. So Kelly faces the minimum that inning, but threw a whole lot of pitches. Matt Briner fouled off everything he had to offer, but in the end, no runs on one hit, no errors, and they leave none. We're at the midpoint of this one. Wayne leads at 3-0. This is Game 3. Live on DelcoLeague.com. First pitch to Kevin McGowan, misses for ball 1. Raines gets the 1-0 over for strike, 1-1 the count. Wayne on top, 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. This pivotal Game 3. Raines kicks, McGowan hits that one right back up the middle, gloves by Raines, over to first. So 1 down for Jim White. The lone Narberth hit of the day, a single to center back in the first. Oddly enough, in Wayne's Game 1 victory, Jim White had a 2-out single in the first inning, which was Narberth's lone hit for a little while. So he'll step in and try to get another one, try to get on base here. First pitch from Raines, taken high. He'll be followed by Joe Ravert. Pitch to White on the ground, picked up by Mutz over at third. Plenty of time to get White for out number 2. So that brings up Joe Ravert. Ravert grounded out his first time up. Raines winds his first pitch. In for a called strike. Raver chops one foul. Sends the Wayne bench scurrying. Dugout's not in use here at Narberth Playground due to COVID-19 regulations. Players lined up with their masks on up the edge of the fence on both sides. Raver takes a called strike, and Ashton Raines has sent down 10 consecutive Narberth Mudcats. No runs, hits, errors, none left. We go to the fifth. Wayne on top, 3-0. This is Game 3 of the Delco League Finals, live on DelcoLeague.com. First pitch to Brady Mutson for a called strike here in the top half of the fifth. Wayne on top. 3-0 for Wayne. 3 runs, 6 hits. No errors. They've left 2. Narberth, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. And they've left 1. Ashton Raines the story for Wayne. James Kelly not pitching too bad himself. He scattered those hits around after a tough first inning. Now Mutz takes ball 2 on a close pitch. So 2-1 the count to the Wayne catcher. It'll be him and then Nate Sides and Alden Mathis, the top of the order for the defending champs here in the fifth. Swings. It's that one. Foul territory. It's going to get out of play. 2-2 the count. These two teams, the last 2 champions. Wayne in 2019, Narberth in 2018. That win for Narberth came over Wayne. So Wayne is in its 3rd consecutive finals. Mutz on the ground to second. Toll with plenty of time will get the out. Narberth has won the title in 2016 and 2018. Looking for a little more of that even year magic here this year. They're going to need to put some work into this game, otherwise they're going to find themselves on the brink. Wayne looking for its 17th championship. Nate Sides hits the first pitch on the ground to third. Fielded cleanly by Jim White, who throws the first for out number 2. So Wayne, far and away the most successful franchise of the current era of the Delco League. Got that first title in 1987, then 93, 94, 95, and 96. 2000, 2001, 2002, another one in 2004, and then 07, 08, 09, 2011, 2014, 15, and 2019. Alden Mathis takes ball 1. Second pitch ripped out towards center on his horse, trying to make a diving catch is Steve DeBarberi. He can't. That one's going to roll all the way to the batting shell. They're sending him home. The throw is going to be dropped. They'll never make a throw home. Alden Mathis with a home run to dead center field. It's 4-0 Wayne. DeBarberi laid out full extension, couldn't get to it, and it just kept going. Ryan Guckin was there to kind of back up the play as best he could. He got to it, but that's the kind of throw that needs 2 relays to get home. It was dropped somewhere along the way. Brian Feely sending Alden Mathis all the way. It's now a 4-0 game. First pitch. Ted Paparella in for a ball. Swings, fouls, one out of play. 1-1. Paparella 1 for 2. Doubled and scored a run in the first. Notched an RBI on a ground out in the third. The 1-1. Swung on and missed at an off-speed pitch. 1-2 the count. Will Pfeiffer waits on deck. Should Paparella get aboard. Kelly winds the pitch. That one's hit a long way out towards center. DeBarberry with a read on it. It's over his head. And it's into the playground. That is a home run. Easy peasy for Ed Paparella. Looked like one umpire was signaling something. I thought he was signaling a home run. I don't know what the ground rules are for that situation, but that should be a home run. Paparella running the whole way. He gets home before the ball gets back to the infield. Back-to-back home runs to dead center field have extended the Wayne lead to 5-0. That'll bring Brian Mager out to the mound. We've got Pat Toll getting loose in the bullpen. Mager maybe trying to buy a little bit of time. As I mentioned earlier, Kelly not pitching poorly, but a couple of 2-out hits for Wayne in the first. And then a 1-out triple for Mathis in the third. Did the damage, and then here with 2 outs. Both Mathis and Paparella with just absolute bullets. Paparella's maybe more to dead center, Mathis just right of dead center. And now they're going to make the change. So that'll do it here for James Kelly. We'll bring you the pitching change in just a moment here on DelcoLeague.com. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Will Pfeiffer steps in against the new pitcher, right-hander Pat Toll. First pitch swinging, fouls it off out of play. James Kelly looked like he was just about through this inning before Alden Mathis hit one a long way that kept rolling and gave him an inside-the-park style home run. And Ed Paparella hit the farthest ball I've ever seen here at Narberth Playground. It hit the middle of the basketball courts in dead center field. The 0-1 misses high. The 1-1 is high. So 2-1 the count to Pfeiffer. Wayne on top 5-0 here in the 5th. Doing to Narberth what Narberth did to Wayne on Saturday in Game 2. Getting an early lead and then breaking out with the long ball. Back-to-back jacks. Pfeiffer on the ground just past the glove of Jim White. So 3 straight hits now for Wayne. Just like they did back in the first inning. Luke Mutz will step in. In that first inning, he did single in a run. Pfeiffer goes, throw from Quinn down to second, hits the runner. So Pfeiffer steals the bag. Now with 2 outs and a 5-run lead, you don't really think you might see a team try to steal like that, but just as quickly as Wayne gets on you, Narberth does the same. So really no lead is safe, especially without a fence out there in the outfield. That one's taken for a called strike. Pitch chopped through the left side. Now Pfeiffer's going to round third, and White will boot that one out in left field. Pfeiffer running hard the whole way. No error, but a run scored, an RBI single for Luke Mutz. It's 6-0. So he's got his second RBI of the game. Wayne really putting some distance between themselves and Narberth now. Especially the way Ashton Raines has been pitching. He might want to get up and start throwing to stay loose. Dan Williams takes the first pitch for ball 1. Williams, the 7th man to come to the plate. I said James Kelly got the first 2, and then it's been disaster ever since for Narberth. Toll misses high, 2-0. It was a home run, a single, a stolen base, and a single. Man on first is Luke Mutz, the 2-0. Hit by Williams into right field for a base hit. 5th consecutive hit for Wayne. Williams second in as many innings. So Matt Briner to the plate. Briner probably partially responsible for Kelly having to leave this one. He fouled off a whole bunch of pitches his last time up before ultimately hitting into a double play. First pitch, cross for a called strike. Tommy Jacobs waits on deck, would be the 9th man to the plate. In the air to left, Mike White's got a long run towards the line, but he's there, and he'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. But the damage done. Wayne with 3 runs, 5 hits. No errors, they leave 2. We're through 4.5. Wayne on top, 6-0. Listening to Game 3 live on DelcoLeague.com. As Yogi Berra once said, it is getting late early for Narberth, trailing 6-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. Ryan Guckin leading it off against Ashton Rains. We'll see if the lengthy delay for Rains causes him any trouble. That inning was about 25 minutes long. Misses with the first pitch. It's 1-0. It'll be Guckin, Tommy Toll, and Mike White. Guckin swings and fouls one off his foot. Pitch from Rains is upstairs. It's 2-1 the count to Guckin. 0 for 1 on the day. Takes that one for a called strike at the bottom of the zone. Activity in the bullpen for Narberth. Guckin takes upstairs. Left-hander Chris Hoyt. As Guckin draws a walk, first of the game issued by either team. We mentioned that layoff could have affected Ashton Rains. His command a little off. So Tommy Toll steps in. Toll 0 for 1, grounded out to first base. Back in the second inning. Takes a called strike. This is for a ball, 1-1. Rains working from the stretch as he hasn't much of the night. Guckin down the left field line. Will it stay fair? No. That one hopped off the fence. Down the left field line. Will it stay fair? No. One hop off the fence. So a ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch in the dirt. Staying put is Guckin. 2-2 the count. Toll turns on that one, lofts it into shallow center field. It's going to drop for a hit. Williams and Sides converge, neither one able to make the play. Coming in is Pfeiffer to pick it up. So Guckin will hold at second. First hit of the game for the Mudcats since the first inning. But now they've got 2 aboard. Mike White has got home run power. We saw it on Saturday. One swing of the bat, he can get Narberth right back into this one. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th. You kind of feel like Narberth has to get something here out of this. First pitch from Rains. Misses for a ball. White grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. Rains comes home. White chops one foul. Ball and a strike to Mike White. Jim Quinn on deck. White swings, fouls off another one, so 1-2 now the count to him. Rains from the stretch, the 1-2. On the ground to third. Mutz fields it on the run. The throw picked nicely by Tommy Jacobs. So they get the out at first. The runners will advance. So 2 in scoring position with 1 out for Jim Quinn. Quinn looking for his first hit in the series. Grounded out to Jacobs to start off the third. First pitch, swinging, chopped off the plate and foul. Rain's doing a good job jamming the Narberth hitters. Ground out to the right side would score a run, but Narberth needs to get both of these home. Try to keep Wayne within sight. 0-1. Quinn takes high. Steve DeBarberi on deck. One swung on and fouled straight back, knocking the mask off of Brady Mutz. Home plate umpire will go and hand deliver the baseball to Ashton Rains. Well, catcher on catcher violence as Jim Quinn taking his fair share of baseballs back behind the plate himself throughout this playoff run. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, second and third here in the bottom half of the 5th. Narberth's best chance to score as they trail 6-0 in this pivotal Game 3. Rains looks in for his sign, and just as he gets it, Quinn asks for time. Rains at the belt, eyes the runner at third. Ryan Guckin comes home. Quinn swings. Looked like the pitch had him fooled, so he is down on strikes for out number 2. It'll fall to Steve DeBarberi to keep the inning going. The Narberth player manager struck out his first time up. Almost made a diving catch out in center field that would have ended the top half of the 5th. Instead, the ball got by. Alden Mathis got a home run, and things unraveled for the Mudcats from there. DeBarberi takes strike 1. One tap down the third baseline. It's going to roll foul. If that had stayed fair, it would have been a very tough play for either Mutz or Rains, whoever got to it first. But the runner out third did not move. So wouldn't have scored a run. 0-2 the count to DeBarberi. Rains comes home with it. DeBarberi tries to check his swing. A called third strike. He is down on strikes for the second time today. Ashton Rains, a little rusty after a lengthy break during the top half of the 5th. Shakes it off. Retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We'll go to the 6th. Wayne in control. Up 6-0 here in Game 3 of the 2020 Delco League Championship Series, live on DelcoLeague.com. First pitch from Pat Toll has Tommy Jacobs dancing here in the 6th. Wayne on top, 6-0 here in Game 3. 1-0 fouled off. It'll be Jacobs followed by Brady Mutz and Nate Sides. 8-9-1 due up for Wayne. John, back with us here in the 6th inning. How's the photo taking under a strange sky like this? We've avoided the rain thus far, but it's coming.
It's actually been...
Jacobs swings and hits that one a long way out to left. Mike White is at the fence. He looks up. That ball's out of here. A leadoff home run for Tommy Jacobs, the 3rd long ball of the game for Wayne. It's 7-0 as the defending champs add the extra point here in the 6th.
It's the conventional home run instead of inside the park.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. Although, no doubt about Ed Paparella's either. I was going to ask you about the home runs. As Mutz steps in, Brady Mutz takes high for ball 1. Talking about, the conditions I asked about the photos. How does the sky look to you as you're trying to shoot? I imagine similar for an outfielder as both of those balls hit a long way out to center as Mutz fouls one off. It's 1-1. We'll answer that question in just a second. The utility truck goes by. Mutz rips one to first. Ravert gets in front of it, wins the foot race to the bag, and Mutz is retired for out number 1.
Well, I think with today's game being overcast, we've seen different weather conditions for each game. First game, very nice day. There was, shadows creeping in midday. The other day was relatively steady as well. Today, just overcast. I know for me, it's easier to just shoot in one condition instead of having to constantly change my settings around. I don't imagine it would be the same for the outfielders too.
Nate Side steps in, takes the first pitch for a ball, swings it. The second pitch, I don't think he hit it, but the pitch drills catcher Jim Quinn. But everyone's walking around. I don't know if time called, if they're calling it a foul tip or not. Regardless, it's 1-1. But looking up at the sky, I wonder if maybe had been a different sort of day, if Steve DeBarberry might have gotten to that spot a little bit, maybe been able to see that ball a little better. Paparella's, I don't think anyone could do anything about, but really the turning point in the game was as soon as that ball hit the ground. Wayne had the lead, but it was still only 3, and Narberth can strike quick as Sides takes upstairs 2-1. But then once the floodgates open there, 5 straight hits really kind of put this game where it is right now. That one is high 3-1.
And not just different weather, but different ballpark layouts too, is really have to earn whatever you hit out to center field or right field.
3-1 pitch. Sides takes low, and he draws a walk. Well, we brought it up because he's coming to the plate right now, Alden Mathis. He's halfway to the cycle. He's got the tough half in his pocket, a triple and a home run. The time's going to be called. Looks like we might have a pitching change here. Pat Toll still has the baseball, but nobody throwing. Chris Hoyt was throwing earlier, and he's going to make his way to the mound right now. So we'll be right back in a second. A pitching change here at Narberth. Wayne on top 7-0 here in Game 3. Left-hander Chris Hoyt inherits a runner on first, one out, one already in. First pitch swinging is Alden Mathis. Over to second, they go to Vacone. It's covering the bag at second for one. Nate Sides called out. Surprised that Toll tried to go to second for that. He barely got the out, if he did at all. So a fielder's choice for Mathis as he easily beats the relay. A risky play. I know you're trying to get the double play, but there's a reason Nate Sides is at the top of the order. And there's a reason this fella's in the 3 spot. Ed Paparella stepping in, hitting the ball as far as I've ever seen here in Narberth Playground the last 5 years of Delco League games. To the center of the basketball court beyond center field. His first pitch is in the dirt from Hoyt, so trotting down to second on the wild pitch is Mathis.
Try to think back. I don't recall having one out quite that far. We've actually seen our fair share, despite the way the outfield's oriented. We've had our fair share of home runs to left. I don't recall too many inside the Parkers.
Jacobs was a no doubt about her out to left earlier in this inning. So Wayne flexing its muscles in the 5th and 6th. Hoyt kicks. Paparella takes a called strike, 1-1. He'll be followed by Will Pfeiffer should he get aboard. Skies and the weather look like they're about to rear their ugly heads in this one. Hoyt kicks. Paparella takes inside. It's 2-1. No word on whether or not these games will be suspended or called. We assume suspended, but those are not decisions for us to make. Paparella thought it was inside, but he catches a piece of the plate. It's 2-2. A little darker than it is usually around this time because of the clouds rolling in. Hoyt set, comes home. 2-2 fouled off.
Remember a few years ago when Narberth won their last title, darkness was a bit of an issue towards the end of the one game. Granted, they would have just carried it over to the next day, but a very tense situation with runners on base, and probably only a few more minutes of daylight actually left where you could actually see clearly.
2016, Kevin McGowan, I believe it was, catching a line drive as Paparella hits that one out towards right. Guckin doesn't see it, comes over and he makes the catch. A little bit of an adventure as he lost it in that sky, but that will retire the side. 1 run on 1 hit, a home run by Jacobs, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the home half of the 6th. Wayne on top, 7-0. This is Game 3 live on DelcoLeague.com.
Narberth's call.
Vinny Vacone, top of the order, leading it off against Ashton Rains. First pitch swinging, fouls it off. Narberth, 6 outs to play with. They're down 7-0 in this one. For Wayne, 7 runs on 12 hits. They've only left 5, so they've gotten a lot of those base runners home. Narberth, no runs on 2 hits. No errors, they've left 3. Vacone chops that one through the right side, and he is aboard with a leadoff single. Now, we're speculating, obviously, about darkness imposing. We are sitting essentially under a tree. We can see the clouds. We can look out to the field. Players probably have a little more light than we do here. Rain's first pitch to McGowan and for a called strike. We were just talking about him at the end of the last inning. I believe he was the one that caught a line drive, stepped on second base for a double play to clinch Narberth's first title back in 2016. With, as you said, as McGowan fouls it off. You said a few minutes of daylight left. I think we may have been past a few minutes past the end of daylight. Just trying to finish that inning. We would have had to come back the next day had Wayne scored to tie that game or take the lead. These two become rivals over the last few years. And McGowan pops that to shallow left. Sides has plenty of time, so he's going to head out and get there.
I always remember that play just because it's one of the few instances where time factors into baseball, especially if you watch a lot of big league baseball. You're not really worried about daylight and time. Obviously, different situation here with no lights at the field.
It's the one game without a clock. Unless you're playing at this level and Mother Nature is the clock. Jim White steps in, fouls off the first pitch. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. It's a nice night, just with that threat of rain lingering. If you wanted to stay home and listen, couldn't make it out to the park. White fouls off another one. Joe Ravert waiting on deck. Raines is set at the belt. Comes home with it. White rips that one foul down the right field line. Sends first base coach and the umpire scurrying.
Just testing the reflexes. It's been a few innings just to see if everyone's awake and paying attention.
Raines fires. Pitch is high. Runner on first, Vinny Vacone, one out. Raines pitch. That one's hit out towards left. It's hit a long way. At the wall is Briner. That ball's gone. A two-run home run for Jim White. Breaks up the shutout. The first signs of life for Narberth here in this one. It's now a 7-2 ball game.
We'll see if that moves the needle in this game, especially if Narberth is able to push a few more runs across the plate. That actually may play into whether we're playing this game tomorrow or if it gets cut short or not.
Right now the schedule says at 5:30 tomorrow we're supposed to start Game 4. But if this game is unable to be played to its completion, we expect it would be suspended. However, like we said, a 7-0 game after 6 innings. A 7-2 game now with one out in the 6th is a lot different as Joe Ravert swings and fouls off the first pitch. 0-1 the count to him. Ravert 0 for 2 on the day. First baseman for Narberth, product of the LaSalle baseball program. Raines fires, and that pitch hits Ravert. So Narberth needs base runners, and they've gotten a couple here in the 6th. They had a couple in the 5th. No activity in the Wayne bullpen, so this is Ashton Raines' game. Although, to be fair, with one out here in the 6th, the tying run is whatever comes after being in the hole, on deck to being in the hole. You still need to get 3 more on base as Guckin fouls one off and plate the runner at first to get the tying run to the plate.
There's a lot of terms in baseball. I'm not sure there's quite a term for that, but
got at the plate, you got on deck, you got in the hole. I don't know what's next. Maybe on the second step of the dugout?
On the bench?
The player to be named later. Guckin chops that one to short. It's cut off by Mutz. Throws to second for one. Back to first, not in time. Nice job by Dan Williams out at second base to hold the bag. As Luke Mutz moving to his left, cutting off Nate Sides. If Sides had fielded that ball, I don't know that they would have been able to get Guckin at first. But Mutz's throw to the first base side of the second base bag. Relay not in time, but Williams did a nice job to get that force out. So 2 down for Tommy Toll. 1 for 2 with a single. Takes one at the letters for ball 1. Mike White on deck. Called strike, 1-1. Rains winds. Misses outside, 2-1 the count.
We also had a suspension at last year's finals. We had the front end. I'm not sure there's
2-1 to Toll. Swung on, hit a long way out towards center. Pfeiffer's got an eye on it. He's over. He reaches up to make the catch. And that'll retire the side. Narberth gets on the board. 2 runs, 2 hits. Nowhere as they leave 1. We're through 6. Wayne on top, 7-2. This is Game 3 of the Delco League Finals here on DelcoLeague.com. First pitch swinging is Will Pfeiffer on the ground to third. The throw to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 7th for Chris Hoyt. Wayne on top, 7-2. Narberth got 2 in the bottom half of the 6th inning to get on the board and make this a 5-run ball game. But Wayne in control, 3 outs from a 2-1 lead in this best-of-5 series. Luke Mutz steps in. Mutz 2 for 3, couple RBI, takes a called strike. Dan Williams on deck. Mutz fouls it back.
we've talked a few times about momentum in this series and how things can shift with, a good run in an inning. Looks like Narberth had the momentum coming back here today. Obviously, that's not the case, and we might be seeing the momentum shift back to Wayne, as obviously they will have the series lead.
Mutz takes in the dirt. Well, they tell you what momentum is in baseball. It is the next day's starting pitcher. And I mentioned earlier, great starting pitching performances from the winning teams in the first 2 games. Ashton Raines was on his way to one of those today. Hit a bumpy spot in the 5th and 6th, but he had a big enough lead. He kind of pitched to contact a little bit to try to get through and save the bullpen as the pitch misses. Pitch misses. It's 2-2, and that one's low. 3-2. It's a tongue twister, John. Full count to Luke Mutz. 3-2 pitch. Gets a piece, stays alive. Hoyt kicks. Called third strike. Mutz down looking for out number 2. Our friends at AccuWeather tell us we got about 15 minutes till the rain comes in. A light rain followed by some heavier rain, maybe a thunderstorm over the course of an hour. First pitch swinging, Dan Williams hits that one up in the air towards right center. DeBarberry over to make the catch and now to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Wayne in the 7th. No runs hits, there's none left. The defending champs 3 outs away from taking a 2-1 lead in this series. It's 7-2 Wayne as we go to the bottom of the 7th. This is Game 3 live on DelcoLeague.com. Mike White swings. First pitch, a seeing eye single up the middle. So Narberth not ready to give up this one just yet. They're down 5 runs. They need base runners. So Jim Quinn steps in. Quinn 0 for 2 tonight. And he is hit by a pitch. So the first 2 men aboard on 2 pitches here in the bottom of the 7th. So I'll bring up Steve DeBarberry. Ashton Raines still on the mound, but now some activity in the bullpen. Looks like right-hander Culver Hughes getting loose, or in the process of getting loose for Wayne. First pitch to Steve DeBarberry, taken for a ball.
If you're Wayne, this is obviously something, as we wait for the train, this is obviously something you were looking to avoid. You were hoping just to get a complete effort from your pitcher and save, and again, the short series with 3 games in 3 days. That you were looking to avoid using any relief pitchers.
2-0 now the count to DeBarberry. Raines kicks. Swung on, hits the fastball down the right field line. It's in the tree. It's called a foul ball. Parts of that tree are in play, as is part of there's a little building down there. I'm not sure what it's used for, but into the side of that building is a scoreboard that I've seen used once in 5 years. Not sure exactly which part of that building is in play. I think counts like a wall if you hit it, but that ball into the tree above it. So 2-1 misses high, 3-1.
I believe it's the railing on the sort of observation deck, if you will. There's a piece of wood that sticks out a little over the foul line. That is in play, but my understanding is that the building itself is foul territory.
3-1, fouled off out of play. I believe a ball that bounces and hits it is still in play. But hitting it in the air, not sure. That's why they do go over the ground rules every day. 2 on, nobody out. Rains from the stretch, 3-2, fouled straight back. Oh, like that may have hit the side of the trestle.
Not quite sure what the hit, but I saw a few leaves flying through the air. I have to think somewhere in the woods there's a collection of foul balls that have been sitting there for a long time.
T. Barberry chops that one out to short. Sides fields it, goes to second for one. To first not in time, so they get the fielder's choice. Quinn is retired. So that's 1 out. Mike White goes to third on the play. At this point, you think Wayne happy to concede a run to make an attempt at a double play here, but Vinny Vacone runs pretty well. He's the batter. First pitch, taken for a strike. Kevin McGowan on deck. 1 down, it's 7-2, but Narberth with 2 aboard here in the 7th. They've gotten to Rains a little bit in the late innings, just a little too late so far. Vacone hits that one on the ground. Past the diving sides into left field. T. Barberry holds at second. White scores at 7-3.
And that's where this inning starts to become interesting. You no longer have to worry about the on the deck in the hole scenario we discussed.
Brian Feely's going to come out to talk to Ashton Rains with 2 aboard. The tying run now on deck. This would be a save situation for a reliever. This game has gotten a lot closer. As we've gotten a lot closer to the edge of darkness. Both existentially and in a baseball sense. It's been that kind of year, John. For all of us. For all of us.
It's my understanding that you don't bring up existentialism towards the end of the baseball game. It's a bit of a
It's a metaphor for life in some ways. McGowan bats from the left side. Rains from the stretch. First pitch. Chopped off the plate. Williams gloves over to first. Not in time. Oh, he got him. I don't know about that one. No argument from the first base coach from here. That throw looked late. Would have been a huge base hit for McGowan. Instead, Wayne now 1 out away from a 2-1 lead. So Jim White steps in. All he did last time up was hit a home run. Joe Rayford on deck represents the tying run. 2 down in the 7th. First pitch from Rains. Hit a long way out towards right field, but curls foul. Brady Muss will run the baseball back out to Ashton Rains. Narberth really hitting the ball hard here in these late innings. Doesn't seem like Rains is tiring, but third, fourth time you see a guy. That's kind of why these days at the major league level, managers are so reluctant to put a guy who isn't an ace-type pitcher out there to face a lineup a third time.
And even then, sometimes that third time around, the numbers do support. Hitters just have caught up to a pitcher by that point.
Second and third. White tries to check his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. So 0-2 the count to Jim White. Steve D. Barberry at third. Vinny Vacone at second, 2 down. In the last of the 7th, Wayne trying to hold on to a 7-3 lead. Rains eyes the runners, comes home, the 0-2 pitch. Pop foul out of play. You know, we try to build the tension for what could be the final pitch of the game, and they go and foul it off every time. Alas.
It's really testing your metaphors and your ability to paint the drama.
That's a pretty deep well, though, John. So we'll do it again. Nothing into the count. 2 on, 2 out. Raines kicks. The 0-2. Fouled off again. I can tell you with some level of certainty, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last inning that we play tonight. Wayne trying to finish it off here and move it on to tomorrow with a chance to clinch the series. Narberth scratching and clawing to stay alive. The deficit might just have been a bit too deep.
Always one for the bold takes.
The pitch is hit down the right field line over the glove of Tommy Jacobs into right field. DeBarberry scores. Vacone scores. White huffing and puffing slides into second. He's safe. It's 7-5 and the tying run will come to the plate. 4 RBI today for Jim White. And I imagine, held out as long as possible, Brian Feely might be strongly considering going to the bullpen as whoever was out there, in addition to Culver Hughes, they've both stopped. Nothing from Feely here, so Joey Ravert steps in, represents the tying run. Talk about the momentum. Narberth's got it right now. Wayne holding on for dear life. First pitch, Ravert swings on the ground to second. Williams should be able to end it here. The throw to first, he double clutches. Jacobs is able to hold the bag. He squeezes it. And that will do it for this one. A topsy-turvy last couple of innings for Ashton Raines, but in the end, a complete game. He gets the win, his third in the last 5 games for Wayne. And they win it 7-5 for Narberth in the 7th. They get 3 runs, and they do it on 3 hits. There's a hit batter that got the tying run to the plate. Ultimately, they leave 1 for the victorious Wayne baseball team. 7 runs on 12 hits. No errors. They leave 5 for Narberth. They get 5 runs on 7 hits, all but 1 of them coming in the last 3 innings of this one. No errors. They also lead 5. The win goes to Raines, his first decision of the finals. The loss to James Kelly. He goes to 0-1. Time of our game, just a bit under 2 hours. We somehow managed to get it in and stay dry. Wayne has a 2-1 lead in the series. John, what do you think that the defending champs are going to have to do to try to hold on, get the win tomorrow night, and clinch the series without going back to Devon Prep?
Well, like everything else, it comes back to pitching, to whether you could set the tone early. Today's game was probably the best late run we've seen so far, but obviously the tone of the game was set early on. Strong pitching performance, unable to push runners across the plate. Whoever wins tomorrow might just have to come out swinging early. That seems to be the winning formula so far.
So far, the team to score first has won each of the first 3 games of the series. For Narberth, kind of the same thing. You got to get an early start. You got to get base runners on. You got to bring them home. They struggled with that in the game they won early on before that 4th inning really popped things open. They used the long ball to their advantage. So a 4-1 win for Wayne in game 1, a 7-1 win for Narberth. Wayne wins this one 7-5. It was never that close until the very end, but that's why these 2 teams are here. Narberth able to get back into it despite being dead in the water for most of 5 innings. But they'll have to bring it early tomorrow. They can't afford to fall behind and have to scrape back into it. Wayne on the cusp of its 2nd consecutive championship. They lead at 2-1. John, thanks for being here. For John Sager, I'm Joe Greenwich. Thanks for listening tonight. Turned into a pretty good ball game. Wayne takes it 7-5, and they have the 2-1 lead here in the Delco League Finals. We'll be back tomorrow night. First pitch scheduled for 5:30 here at Narberth Playground, and we'll see you then if you can't make it out. Thanks again for tuning in. Once again, it's Wayne 7, Narberth 5. Wayne leads the series 2-1. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.